kind of ventilators. And I think we have this kind of more than 100 this kind of ventilators in our setup. So I'll teach you how to use this ventilator. Okay. So you can use portable CPAP as well. Outside people are using, but here we'll discuss this ventilator. So let's start from beginning. As with any electronic device, what's important for to use any electronic device is power supply. Let's come this side. So this is your ventilator. This is his power supply cable. You need to just plug in power supply cable. And when you plug in your power supply goes to this stabilizer. Okay, so this is inlet of electrical supply in this stabilizer, and from this stabilizer there are two output comes, and one goes to the ventilator here. You see here. So this one goes to the ventilator, and another one goes to your this one compressor. So another one goes to here. I can show it here. The compressor. So the two output from the stabilizer. So once you switch it on from a wall, you need to switch on each and every machine. Like 3 things you need to switch on here. First thing you need to switch on is your stabilizer. So on the stabilizer here, as you can see, is written here as on. So when you press this button, on button, for a few seconds, it will switch on. This is already on stabilizer. So you need to on the stabilizer. When your stabilizer is on, you will see this screen. So from your stabilizer, power supply goes to your ventilator as well as compressor. Compressor gives you air to the ventilator machine. So how to switch on the compressor and ventilator? Okay, to switch on the compressor, there is a button here below this cap. So you can see, if you just insert your finger in this cover, you will see the one button there. This is switch off. If you go up, it's switch on. So once you switch on this one, you will see one screen here. There is no any other buttons on the compressor. So just switch on button and it will start working on its own. And from compressor, you can see this output, the air, it blows air from compressor to the ventilator. Okay, so this is about compressor. Now how to switch on the ventilator. Before we move on to the ventilator needs air and oxygen. We already discussed about air. Let's discuss about oxygen before we switch on our machine. This step is very important. You need to connect oxygen. You need to supply oxygen to the ventilator before you start using ventilator. So this is a oxygen knob. You need to connect this to your oxygen supply channel. So this usually some form of flow meter is connected to the wall. So what you need to do, just come a bit closer. There is a circular ring here on the wall on this connector. You need to press it, then this flow meter will come out easily. This is a flow meter. Like through this flow meter, you can give your oxygen from 1 liter to 15 liters. So when you are using nasal cannula, face masks or non-breathing mask, use this flow meter. And this is a outlet to give oxygen. You can connect your tubing here, and another end of this oxygen tubing will go to the patient end. To humidify oxygen, you can put some sterile water here. Don't use normal water, use sterile water. Otherwise, this can cross-contaminate or give an infection to the patient as well. And you need to change this water in between patients.
Water bottle.
Sorry?
Is it okay to use water?
Ideally, you should use sterile water.
And normal.
No, not normal saline. Sterile water. You don't need salt here. Just a water which is sterile. So there are sterile water packs are coming. Ideally, you should use it. So, it's clear, everybody. Flow meter. So how to connect flow meter? I'll teach you again. So this end will go on the upside. So place this flow meter like this, and what you have to do, just press it in. It will get locked, and you can start using oxygen here. your oxygen here. This is about flow meter. Now let's go to ventilator. So the same way you have to connect this oxygen supply as well. So this end will go on upside. Okay, this end. So press it here and just what you need to keep it in and then just press it. How will you know that it's connected properly? Just try to pull it out gently. It won't come out. To take it out, you need to press this bit. Easy? Everybody? You need to do this routinely, so you should know this by heart. So oxygen is connected, power supply connected, stabilizer is on, compressor is on. Now ventilator. So there is switch on button here. So when you press the button, the machine will switch on. So here there are various options. Adult, pediatric, usually we treat accused. Sucha?
Scary madam mana mukla.
Usually you have to select adult here, okay, because we don't treat pediatric patient here. Then this screen will come. It's on the standby mode. It's not working now. And there are various settings here. Don't worry about too many like this settings. What you need to learn is very basic things, okay. I won't teach you in detail about ventilator. Teach you ventilator, I need like at least 5 to 7 days to teach you ventilator in a proper manner. So what I'll teach you, what is useful for you at the moment to save lives and what you need to do bedside. If you have any question, if you don't understand anything, just feel free to ask me. So important thing here, this is a touch screen as well as rotator knob here as well. So important thing here, you need to know which mode you have to use. So go to the mode, you can do touch screen as well as go through the rotator knob. So you can change various modes here. Don't worry about where, like there are many modes here, don't worry about different modes. What you need to use is, most commonly you will use here is a PSV CPAP. Pressure support ventilation, continuous positive airway pressure. So if you go then to select this, what you need to do, press this rotator knob. So now this mode is selected. So there are various settings here before you connect to the patient. So main important setting you need to worry is FiO2 first. So there is direct button for FiO2. You can give it from the range from 21 to the 100%. So 100%, you can start with the 100% FiO2 and you can go as low as 21% FiO2. What you need to give is, most commonly we start with the some PEEP. First button is pressure limit. So this button is usually fine with 30 to 40 pressure limit. So if you keep this pressure limit, then machine won't go above this pressure limit and you can prevent injury to the lungs. Don't worry about this button, just leave it as it is. 40 is fine. So PEEP, usually we start with the 5 or 7 PEEP for a patient. We don't want to start with a very high pressure, otherwise your patient won't keep the mask. So start with the 7 of PEEP here. This PEEP is same as your CPAP, continuous positive airway pressure. PEEP is PEEP and expiratory pressure, but this pressure remains in the airway throughout the respiratory cycle. So this is the same as CPAP, whatever you say, CPAP, PEEP, all things are same. Usually start with the 7. If your patient, this PEEP is directly related to your oxygenation. As you increase the PEEP, oxygenation will improve. So start with the 7. You can go in increment of 2, like 7, 8, 9. You can go to 10, you can go to 11, 12. I won't advise you to go more than 12. Okay, because this NIV machine is very harmful to patient as well. It can cause a barotrauma. Patient may develop pneumomediastinum, pneumothorax, various complications of higher pressure. So don't go more than 12 here. So PEEP in between 5 to 12 for you. Other setting you need to worry here is pressure support. Usually we start with the 0 of pressure support. What this pressure support is, this is the pressure which machine will deliver on top on top of your PEEP during inspiration. So this is your inspiratory pressure in another way, but this is on top of your PEEP. So usually we don't need this because your patient's tidal volume are usually good. Usually they are able to generate good tidal volume. Or tidal volume, what is our expectation? How much tidal volume we want? 6 to 8 ml. These patients are usually ARDS, so we don't want to go till 8 as well. So 6 mils per kilo is fine. So usually for adult patient, tidal volume somewhere in between 400 to 500 ml is okay. So if your patient's tidal volume is already in target range, there is no point giving additional pressure which can harm more rather than benefit. So keep it at 0. But your patient's tidal volume is less, you can give them some pressure support starting from 5, and at your level I won't ask, you can go up in increment of 2 and you can go till 12. At your level I won't advise you to go more than 12. Okay? If your patient tidal volume is still low after 12, you can check your mask if mask is not fitted properly, or you can ask some of your consultants' help. So this is about the setting of CPAP pressure support, FiO2, PEEP and pressure support,
Sir,
and mode selection. Yes,
sir, then what is the difference between PEEP and pressure support?
that's what I'm saying. PEEP is your pressure, it's a continuous positive airway pressure. This pressure remains in the airway throughout your inspiratory and expiratory cycle. So this is a pressure which remains in the airway all the time. Pressure support is the pressure goes above your PEEP just during your inspiration. Getting me? The PEEP is your CPAP, continuous pressure. Pressure support is your inspiratory pressure on top of your CPAP.
It is IPAP. Sir,
You can say IPAP. There are various different names you can use it. There's IPAP and EPAP. But your IPAP will be pressure support plus PEEP.
PSOP, pressure supported over PEEP.
Yes.
Sir, so this means it is BiPAP or not?
That's why I'm telling you, you can use whatever word you want. If you're keeping this 0, then you can say that, oh, I've kept my patient on CPAP mode.
PiPAP, yeah.
If you're keeping this as 5, you can say that, oh, I've used my patient on a BiPAP mode. BiPAP mode is you are giving 2 different pressures during inspiration and expiration. Okay, that's bi-level positive airway pressure. That's 2 different pressures. But if you are not giving different pressure during inspiration and expiration, that means it's a CPAP mode. Easy? So don't go in lot of technicalities. Just learn practical things at the moment and learn a lot of different things.
IPAP should be between 8 to 12 mmHg. That should be the guidelines says 8 to 12 mmHg should be the IPAP.
So that's what I'm telling. This guideline, what is your aim? That is important. There is no magic number here. What's your aim here? As I'm telling you, to set your PEEP, what is your aim is your oxygenation. You need to maintain your oxygen level more than 92 or 94. How much IPAP you will keep it? Your aim is your tidal volume. Your patient tidal volume is like 1 liter with the 7 of IPAP. Why you want to give 7 then? I'll be happy with 0 as well. But you shouldn't keep PEEP 0, otherwise there's no point using the machine. Okay? So what's important here is use some PEEP, at least 5 to 7 PEEP. You may not need to use pressure support for each and every patient. Okay? But don't use very high pressures unnecessary. If it's required, use it, otherwise don't use it. Mode selection, CPAP, PSV CPAP, FiO2, PEEP and pressure support. Just 4 things you need to do. Easy? Everybody?
How the tidal volume is measured if the sensor is not connected?
Then it won't measure tidal volume.
Sir, there are some ventilators, some not more than half ventilators.
I'll come on that point as well. Okay? So this was about pressure support mode. This is the only mode you should use in your patient. No other mode. Ideally, this mode should be in the form of non-invasive mode, but we don't have separate non-invasive mode in this machine. So what mode we are using is like for intubated patient. So this may not work as great as is the other ventilator who gives as a non-invasive mode, which gives a higher flow. But it works in most of the patient. Sometimes it doesn't work for some patient. In that group of patient, It's not ideal thing to do, but yes, to save our patient lives, what you need to do is you may use pressure control bi-level mode. Okay, this is assist control mode. That mode is complete spontaneous mode. Patient will take breath whenever patient want to. Patient will decide his respiratory rate on his own. Here, when you press this on bi-level mode, you will see extra setting of respiratory rate here. Here machine will give whatever respiratory rate you set here. On top of this, patient can as well take extra breaths on top of this set rate as well. Okay, so usually I won't go in too much technical things. So usually we keep this respiratory rate somewhere 14, in between 14 to 20. T high you can keep like this is a inspiratory time, maximum inspiratory time. So you can keep it at 2 seconds. Inspiratory time per respiratory cycle. So you can keep it, doesn't matter, doesn't make big difference. P high and pressure support. So P high is the pressure which machine gives during this set respiratory rate. And pressure support is machine will give this pressure when the patient takes breath on its own. Okay, so don't confuse too much. So what you need to do is consider both this pressure as an inspiratory pressure. Okay, so keep this setting somewhere in between 8 to 12 or maximum 15. Okay, so 8 to 12, 15 for both the things. So let's leave it at 12. Mode we already discussed. PEEP here as well, the same as in the CPAP. In between, what's the range of PEEP we discussed?
8 to 12.
5 to 12. You can go as low as 5 as well. So 5 to 12. Pressure limit, same thing. Flow trigger usually we keep in between 2 to 5, but just leave it at 3. Don't worry about trigger. I don't want to teach you in detail about trigger at this point of time. It will take like another 1 to 2 hours to discuss about trigger.
Sir, in assist control mode,
This is assist control.
Yes, sir. So ventilator is providing oxygen on effort, and also if patient is apneic, like
Apneic,
now-
still machine will give
still
breath.
machine will give it that 17.
17.
respiratory.
If patient is apneic, machine will give just 17 rate.
Okay.
If patient has some effort, machine will give extra breaths as per the trigger by the patient.
But that all depends on sensor, right?
That all depends on sensor, but it's not like kind of sensor gives you values.
Okay.
If you haven't connected sensor, that doesn't mean machine won't give the breaths to the patient. It may not be that accurate things, but yes, sensor gives you values. Okay, so this was about mode. Let's go to once you've selected the mode, you can connect the circuit before or after selecting your mode. Okay, so this is your ventilatory circuit. As Tapan was telling about the sensor, I will show you each and everything separately. So this is your ventilator. Usually you will find this kind of thing. So just show here. So this is your sensors. This is your sensor tubings. So the one is blue and another one is a white, and this is a connector at patient end. Okay. Usually it's written here patient side. So this blue tubing should go towards patient, and this should go towards ventilator side. And there are two another connections here. You can read here is a from patient, means this one is a expiratory port. This is a to patient. That means this is a inspiratory port. Easy? And this is your ventilatory circuit. Okay. This is your ventilator. Let's leave this sensor aside. This is your ventilatory circuit. So you can make any of this as an inspiratory and another one as an expiratory. Okay, and this is a patient end by connection. So let's make this one as a expiratory end and make this one as a inspiratory end. So this both circuits, you can see this now. This one is your inspiratory. So flow will come from this circuit, it will come here, and it will go to the patient from this Y connection. And when the patient expires, the flow will come from patient here and it will go in this expiratory limb and it will go in the ventilator, and machine will like exhale the air from this expiratory valve. So expiratory air will come out from the machine from here. So what we are worried here is patient, if the expiratory air comes out from here, aerosol containing COVID virus can come out in atmosphere. To prevent this, what you can do is, you have to do is, this mandatory thing to do. This is a filter which is a HME as well as BVF, bacterial and viral filter. So to prevent aerosolization of atmosphere, you can connect this filter on the expiratory limb. Okay, easy. And what you want to do now, you want to humidify air which goes to the patient, because this oxygen and air comes in the ventilator is usually very dry. So you want to deliver humidified air to the patient. To humidify air, you will apply another filter, HME, heat and moisture exchanger, HME filter, at this Y connection. Okay, so whenever patient inspires, this filter will humidify the air. Okay, I don't want to teach you technical things here as well. So once this filter is applied, you need to connect sensors here. This sensor has these are the sample tubing. So what this sensor does, inspired and expired air goes from this sample tubings into the ventilator, and machine will give you values, how much inspiratory volume was there, how much expiratory volume was there, what was the pressure inside the circuit. So machine will give you all the values. If you don't connect this sensor, you won't get any values. So you will not know how your patient is doing. So what you have to do, connect this sensor on this filter here. Very important thing here, which everybody discards when the patient is like next patient comes in the same bed, they discard this one. This is very important. Otherwise, you will not able to connect this circuit to the on the mask of a patient. So you need this connector. So make sure you don't ask your nurses as well. They shouldn't discard this connector as well as the sensor. What is the disposable part is just the circuit. You'll get a new circuit with the new patient, but not a new sensor and new connector. You can clean this connector and the sensor with the sterile. Okay. So connect this, and this end is ready to be connected on the patient face mask. So how to connect a face mask? So face mask should be tightly, appropriately fitted on the face. There is no leak around the mask, and as well as it's not too tight and it's not causing discomfort to the patient. Otherwise your patient won't keep it. So connect. What you have to do is, when you have a mask, apply on the patient face first. Make sure your patient is comfortable, and start your ventilator. And once your patient is comfortable, then slowly there are harness straps to tie the mask. So take the straps and gently fit it on the mask. Okay. And if there is any leak, your machine won't do the job. So make sure if there is any leak, if your patient is pulling out, make sure you make it appropriately fit on the patient's face. This is about non-invasive ventilator strategy. So this one is like how to apply this CPAP or BiPAP on the patient's face. So now we will discuss this. Once you have applied, what you will monitor. Okay. So what you have to monitor here is, so this is a test lamp. So just let's think this, your patient is connected now on the okay. So just assume that this is a patient end and your patient is connected on the ventilator. we got a new connector. So this connector is leaky, I think it's just broken connector. So you will see some values here when your patient is connected. On the, let's use pressure support mode. So this is your patient effort, and what I'm doing is patient effort, then machine will give a volume. So you can see the waveform is coming, some values are coming here. What you're interested here in is volume. So see, VTE means expiratory tidal volume. So what you want to aim here is 400 to 500. Okay, you can adjust your pressure support as per your target. Okay. A lot of other data are coming here. You can see like PEEP, mean pressure, plateau pressure. This is inspiratory tidal volume. So usually this inspiratory and expiratory tidal volume, usually it should be the same. As you can see here, it's like 550 and 360. So a lot of volume is leaking somewhere. So this connector is not fitted properly. It's like broken already. So that's why there is volume leak here. So this same thing can happen if your mask is not fitted properly. If any of your connection is loose, if any of this connector if this comes out, volume will leak from here. If this connection comes out, volume can leak from here. So make sure there is a leak. So what you need to do, see this volume and make sure if there is any leak, make sure everything is fitted properly and face mask is as well fitted properly on the patient's face. So if you are, after doing all this setting, your tidal volume is good, you started with 100 FiO2, if your patient is saturating well, try to come down on FiO2 an increment of 5, okay, and just monitor for oxygenation. If your patient's oxygenation is okay, try to come down slowly, aim for like 40 or less. When you're 40 or less, then your patient may be ready to go on the trial of a face mask. Okay, and how you will titrate your PEEP, and at the same time you have to titrate your PEEP and pressure support as well. So once your pressure support is 0 and PEEP is like 10 or less, kind of 8 or 7 PEEP. So what, like when your PEEP is 8 or less and your FiO2 is 40 or less, this is a good time to trial face mask. So this is how you wean your patient from CPAP or BiPAP support. Easy. So how to apply CPAP, BiPAP, what to monitor when your patient is on BiPAP. When you apply BiPAP, your patient work of breathing will come down, respiratory rate will come down, oxygenation will improve. You need to monitor for these all things. And once your patient is ready, usually we give them 24-48 hours before we start weaning. And once like they're doing well, just because you're giving them treatment, medication as well, it will start working in 24-48 hours. And even if your patient is ready, you can start weaning them FiO2, pressure support and PEEP. And once you are like your PEEP is 8 or less, FiO2 is 40 or less, do a trial of face mask. Easy, everybody? Any questions?
I is to E ratio.
What's normal I is to E ratio? 1:2, isn't it?
1:2.
Keep it at 1:2.
So
So
if patient has a history of COPD like asthmatic, so is it needed? There were patients. So I is to ratio, E ratio needs to decrease.
sometimes you need more expiratory time, but see again, here your patient is breathing spontaneously. You can't decide your I ratio here. Patient himself will decide when he want to inspire, when he want to expire. Okay. There are like some settings you can do when your expiratory like valve will open at 25% of flow. Just forget about all this thing. It will be too much. If any of you are interested in learning a bit more about ventilator, this kind of thing, you can just contact me personally. I don't want to just confuse all of you. Okay. Just learn this thing. Just focus on this thing. Apply this knowledge on bedside. And if you are interested, if you like deliver this knowledge better like on bedside, then you can go to the next step and you can learn better things. This is not a time to learn things. This is a time to deliver the things which you already know. Okay. So other thing you can monitor is a waveform. So this is a pressure time scaler forget about it at the moment. What I want to show you is volume time scaler. So how to get that scaler is press anywhere on the screen. You will get a menu. First option is display. Go to the display. There are few options: numerics, volume, flow, and loops. What I am interested in is volume time scaler. So press on volume. So this one is volume time scaler. Can you see this volume? Like 200 ml, 400 ml, 600 ml. So here, this one is inspiratory part, this one is expiratory part. So usually inspiratory and expiratory part should be of similar fashion, kind of like proper shape mountain. As our connector is broken, you can see this inspiratory part is going like this, but there is lot of leak in expiratory part. Can you see this? This much volume. This volume is leaking. See this. You're getting this volume back in the ventilator, but remaining this volume is leaking from this leaky connector. So if there is no proper like equal shape mountain, that means there is some leakage happening somewhere. Okay, so watch for in like proper mountain shape in the volume time scaler. It's easy thing to do if you're not getting numbers properly, if you don't want to read the numbers. This is easy thing to see straight away.
So there is a V leak.
Sorry.
V leak mode
bi-level
bi-level mode છે એવું છે?
What do you want to? So this much volume is leaking. Small amount leak is fine, up to 100, 150 ml. But if most of the volume is leaking, means your machine is not doing the job. What do you want to ask?
There is a V leak but display
Okay, you
mode.
want to just go to the display. Numerics.
V leak.
So yeah, this much volume is leaking. So it's
One
telling you
point.
150 ml is leaking. So usually like 50 or less is fine. This is bit higher leak because this connector is broken. You can see this. This connector is broken.
Yes.
That's why it's leaking.
Because sir, in every ventilator, sir, there is a leak of 1 to 1.5 liter. 1 to 1.5.
Yeah. So 1 to 1.5 liter is too big leak.
Too big.
That means your machine is not doing the job. You haven't fitted the machine properly to the patient. That's why I'm teaching you. If you learn this thing, then only you can do it better on the bedside. When you go to bedside, I'll be there in the ward rounds with you. So I can again teach you. If you are getting any troubles, we can do troubleshooting. But if you know this basic thing, try to do this basic thing, then I can teach you a bit better thing. If you haven't done this bit, then it's difficult for me to invest a lot of time on the bedside. Yes? Any other questions?
Sir, regarding insulin.
Yes.
Blood sugar
I think shall we keep it for some later day? What I'm thinking is, I'm thinking to create some Zoom link or online link and we can decide sometime what time will be suited for most of you. So we can take a topic like one by one: how to manage hypoglycemia, how to manage blood pressure, how to like monitor for urine output, what's your target. So whatever we haven't discussed today, we can take like one topic, like twice or thrice weekly, like 15-20 minutes kind of online discussion. So rather than discussing like with small groups, most of us can discuss at the same time, and whoever like on the duty, you can share your knowledge or like the things which you have learned in the session, and they can see, we can record that thing as well, they can see it later on.
Yes.
So we do it that way then. Yeah? Easy?
Yes.
Any questions at all? Anybody?
Sir, it was related to how to administer insulin. Like yesterday we were doing administration